Hi, Riverlawn. I am Debbie Baker, the Finance and Human Resources Director here at Riverlawn. I've been here a little over 19 years, and I'm going to share one of my favorite Bible verses, which is Matthew 17:20. I tell you the truth, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. The first time this verse was quoted to me was in the Wesley Hospital phone bank right outside of the surgery waiting room. I was a teeny tiny baby Christian calling my boss to tell her I wouldn't be able to be at work the next day because we were kind of going through a family tragedy. She was just this best Christian woman. She immediately prayed for me and she quoted that scripture. And I have to be honest, it didn't really make much sense to me, but I will always remember that feeling of that moment. And as I've grown in my faith and as I've researched a little bit more and learned, I've also learned that Jesus was talking to his disciples and probably even kind of getting on to them because they didn't have any faith in something that they were doing, and was telling them that he's a big God and you just need a teeny tiny bit of faith and see what he can do with that faith. And each time I hear that verse now, it takes me back to that waiting room. That was a kind of a terrible time in our life, but it still gives me so much comfort because I remember how I felt when my boss at the time prayed for me and read that scripture, and honestly how far I've come. And we just have to remember that we serve a really big God. And sometimes life is really hard, but a mustard seed, that's what we need. Sure, we need a huge faith, but if we can get a mustard seed of faith, we can just sit back and see what God can do with that. It's not always what we want, but it's enough. And so I would just like to encourage you, Matthew 17:20, get that mustard seed of faith and see what can happen.